free. I had been planning my escape for weeks. You heard that word, right? Escape. And I want you to sit with that because that is the word that belongs to what it is I was doing. I was planning my escape from my own house because that is what my life had become inside my second marriage. I waited for the right window. My husband Tom was going to go to a concert with his brothers, and all the kids were supposed to be out of the house, with the exception of my son Charles, who was escaping with me, right? I made an excuse to stay home. So reason why I couldn't go to the concert. Um, I had already told a small group, a, a trusted circle of friends and family, what was happening and that I needed help. And I let them know what the plan was and that I was going to send them the signal that the house is empty, come now. All right. We had a U-Haul reserved, we had people ready to move. We had approximately 2 to 3 hours to get everything that mattered out of that house before anyone came back. And here's what I need you to understand about the plan. I could not pack a single box in advance because if anything looked different, if anything was moved, the whole plan would unravel. I had to walk through that house every single day, living in it, cooking in it, cleaning in it, doing the motions of my normal everyday life, all while knowing that I was planning to leave it. That is what strategic freedom looks like. Not dramatic, not visible, done quietly inside the ordinary life, waiting for the right moment. I sent the signal. People started to arrive and we started moving. And then everything started going sideways. There once was a woman who did this very same thing on a much larger scale, about 170 years before I did. In 1849, a woman named, and I'm sure you've heard of her, Harriet Tubman, is enslaved on a plantation in Dorchester County, Maryland. She has heard rumors that she's about to be sold further south, sold away from all the people that she knows, and deeper into a system she cannot survive any further than she already has. Okay. And so she makes a decision. She is going to leave. She is going to walk, mostly at night, mostly alone, guided by the North Star and the kindness of strangers who are part of a network of safe houses, that network that later gets to be known as the Underground Railroad, right? This tiny little woman walks nearly 90 miles all alone at night during slavery times, okay, through swamps, through forests, through farmlands, in the dark, all alone, with the knowledge that if she gets caught, the consequences are almost unthinkable. And she arrives. She makes it. She gets to Philadelphia and she is free. She's free, right? And she later described that moment like this. She said, when I found that I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. She was free. She was safe. She was in Philadelphia. She had done the most dangerous thing she had ever done, and she survived it. She could have stayed in Philadelphia. Let me tell you what today's sky is doing and why both of these women, separated by 170 years, are saying the same thing to every woman in this live today. This morning at 10:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Mercury reaches Cazimi in the exact conjunction with the sun in Virgo. In traditional astrology, the Cazimi is called the heart of the sun. It is the moment when a planet sits so close to the sun that it is bathed in pure solar fire and it emerges purified, clarified. The distortions and confusion of the preceding weeks burn away. What was murky becomes clear. What you've been sensing but couldn't name, you can name it now. Mhm. The Mercury Cazimi in Virgo specifically clarifies the mind around practical truth, not abstract knowing, specific, actionable, clear as glass knowing, the kind that arrives and you recognize it immediately because it has been there all along, underneath all the noise, just waiting. In cognitive behavioral therapy, there is a concept called cognitive diffusion, developed by Dr. Stephen Hayes at the University of Nevada as part of acceptance and commitment therapy. Diffusion is the practice of separating yourself from your thoughts, recognizing that a thought is not a fact, that the story your mind tells is not the same as the truth. The Mercury Cazimi today is the cosmic diffusion moment. The thoughts that have been running the I'm not ready, I don't know what comes next, what if it doesn't work out, right? Who am I to even want this? In the clarity of the Cazimi, you can see them for what they are, not truth. Thoughts, stories that the mind tells to manage the fear of the unknown. The practice for today, for right now, is this: take one thought that has been keeping you stuck, one reoccurring thought about your own limitations, your own readiness, your own permission to want what you want, and hold it at arm's length in your mind. Don't fight it, don't agree with it, just look at it the way you would look at a cloud passing by, right? You would say, I notice I am having the thought that I am not ready. Not, I am not ready. I notice that I am having the thought that I am blank, 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 whatever it is for you, right? That one shift from being the thought to observing the thought is what the Mercury Cazimi makes possible today, right? The clarity is available. Use it. My journey to myself was built for exactly this kind of honest self inquiry, getting clear on which thoughts are facts and which are just stories. 400 prompts that help you separate the noise from the signal. So today, on Kazemi Day, that journal is the companion for what gets cleared up. It's linked in my bio if you're interested. And then tonight, the lunar eclipse in Pisces arrives at 9:12 p.m. Pacific time. This is the final Pisces eclipse until 2034. The eclipse is at 4 degrees Pisces, conjunct Neptune, the planet of dreams, disillusion, and the boundary between what is real and what we imagine. A lunar eclipse reveals what has been hidden and brings up what is ready to be completed. So, the Pisces eclipse specifically releases emotional patterns held in the body, the grief that has not moved, the anxiety that became habitual, the suppression that became automatic so long ago you forgot that it was a choice, the identity that you've been maintaining at the cost of the identity you are becoming. The Buddha said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Every woman in this live today is in the middle of something difficult. In the middle of something difficult. Who can say that's true for them? Maybe they're in a life of transition, an identity in reconstruction, a freedom being planned, or a freedom just claimed, or a freedom not yet believed to even be possible. The eclipse tonight is the opportunity inside the difficulty, not the end of the difficulty, the opportunity inside of it. The opportunity to release what is complete, to receive what is coming, to stop maintaining the story that kept you small, right? And step into the one that is actually true for you. Harriet Tubman was free. She was in Philadelphia. She crossed every line between the life she was escaping and the life that she was claiming. She could have stayed in Philadelphia. She went back, not once, 19 times. 19 return trips to the most dangerous territory she had ever survived. She personally led approximately 70 people to freedom, including her own parents, siblings, and most of her family. The slave owners were furious and they put bounties on her head that would equal millions of dollars in today's currency. She was never caught. She never even lost a passenger. She carried a gun with her during these trips, not to threaten anybody that she was helping, of course, but she knew and understood something that most people never understand is a person who turns back in fear puts everyone else at risk. So freedom required her commitment, not her comfort. And she said, her quote is, I never ran my train off track and I never lost a passenger. Here is what Harriet Tubman understood that I want every woman in this live to hear. Escaping is not the same thing as claiming. She escaped in 1849. She spent the rest of a decade claiming, going back for every person still in the dark. Not because she was required to, but because her freedom was not complete alone. The eclipse tonight is asking you the same question that it asked Harriet on that road to Philadelphia. Now that you're free, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? So, in my driveway, back in September of 2023, we're loading up the U-Haul, my friends, my family, my son Charles. We're moving fast. We're moving everything that's mine and my son's out of the house I had been planning to leave for weeks. And then one of my friends comes running through the front door and says, Jill, you need to come outside right now. So I run, of course. And what do I see as soon as I walk outside? But half a dozen police cruisers, like the big SUV type, like expeditions, they are surrounding my house. The police has their guns pointed at me, my friends, my family, and every single person that is helping me move is in my driveway on their knees, hands in the air. What? I was stunned. I was shocked. What could possibly have caused this? My dog runs out the house and is now in the street. This is a busy neighborhood, okay? My autistic son is so fucking scared, he is hiding behind a car. My stepdaughter had called the police and called her dad, my husband. The police showed up first. One by one, we walked backwards back to the police. And then one by one, we each told them our story of what was going on, which was I was moving out. The house was not being burglarized, as they had been informed by my stepdaughter, who shouldn't have even been there. And then Tom, my husband, showed up because, of course, she called him too. And the police held him in the corner of the yard while we finished loading. I sat there and just moved and didn't want to even look at him. But when I did, he was crying. And I don't know why, because he's the one who was violent toward me the whole time. But we got everything out. We got on the road. And from start to finish, even with the police showing up, we got in and out, packed everything. 90 minutes. 90 minutes. And as I drove away from that house, my house that I owned, shaking, exhausted, heart pounding, I felt something that I had never felt. I felt like I was in heaven. I felt like I was in heaven. Harriet Tubman used those exact words. 170 years before I drove away from my own home. There was such a glory over everything. And I felt like I was in heaven. We were not in heaven. We were in two very difficult, very real, very dangerous moments of claiming our own lives. But we were free. And freedom, real freedom, claimed freedom, the kind you plan for, the kind you fight for, the kind you're willing to get on your knees for, feels exactly like that. One woman in 1849 who escaped slavery and went back 19 times for the ones that were still in the dark. One woman in 2023 who escaped a marriage and is now building a show, writing books, and going live every single weekday to go back for those women that are still in the dark. And Mercury Kazemi in the middle, the moment of clarity, and the lunar eclipse tonight, the moment of release. The question all of these stories are asking you is the same question. You have been working on your freedom, planning it, building it, waiting for the signal. What are you going to do with it? Do you stay in Philadelphia or do you go back? This show, this live that I do every day, this is me going back every single weekday for you, for the woman who doesn't yet know she can leave the thing that she's still in, for the woman on her knees in her own driveway who doesn't know that it's going to be okay. Tonight, the lunar eclipse releases what is complete in you. Let it go gracefully with your whole heart, and then come back for the ones that are still in the dark. Before I let you go, all three of my books are linked in my bio, and I want you to know what each one is and what it's for, because I love building tools to help you out so you can get through your own crap and move through it. So, first is my journey to myself. It is the inner work companion for every woman who is planning her escape or who has already made it out and is trying to figure out who she is on the other side of it. There are 400 prompts designed to help you separate the thoughts that are facts and the thoughts that are just stories, to excavate what is truly you, right? Instead of what you built your personality around to make everybody else comfortable, right? This is the journal that goes with you into your life reconstruction. It's linked in my bio. I also wrote AI Side Hustles for Women Over 40. It is for the women who have claimed her freedom, right? And is now needs to build income to sustain it. Because Harriet Tubman, she needed resources, right, to run those 19 trips. Because I needed income to make my freedom possible. Because freedom without financial foundation is very fragile, right? Real, practical, accessible income paths for women building something new after 40, linked in my bio. And what I don't have a physical copy of is my latest book. It's only on Kindle. It is the 2027 Phoenix Renewal Almanac. And it's your year ahead companion for navigating every transit, every eclipse, every lunation with the self development lens applied. If you want what we did today, the astrology decoded through the lens of your actual growth for the entire year ahead, this book is your book, and it is linked in my bio, sold on Kindle. If you're watching the replay, like on YouTube, make sure you share this live out to one woman who is still in the planting stage, who is waiting for the signal, who needs to hear. Get your people ready. The signal is coming, right? I'm Jill, and this is your Phoenix Renewal Hour. The eclipse is tonight. Step outside, look up, let what is complete go, right? And then come back for somebody else. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.